Hello and welcome to Joy News at 6. The news is live on Joy 99.7 FM and hits 103.9 FM in Accra. In Kumasi, we're on Love 99.5 FM and over 30 affiliates across Ghana's 16 regions, including Volta Premier Ho and Menu Veve Aflao, Lolonyo FM Hohoi, and Kekeli FM Ho. Get radio, TV, and online content on the myjoyonline.com interactive app for Android and iOS devices. Coming up, labor unions warn they will give the next government some relief and flexibility, but only if it aligns its expenditures with available resources and avoids unnecessary spending.
Selling vehicles that may be bequeathed to them by the outgoing administration. I mean, if some of these things are done, you would not get the support from labor.
We'll hear from the Mahama team. Meanwhile, leadership of the NDC commences investigations into alleged assault on its treasurer by Northern Regional Vice Chair as it condemns the brutal attack.
Definitely, when we have gotten full briefing and full information of the matter, we will certainly take an action.
Also, Chief of Army Staff Major General Thomas Oppong-Pepra cautions detractors against perpetrating lies to tarnish his image as the president prepares to make changes to the leadership.
In a military shakeup, I've been taken to juju people and all that, but I'm still standing here. I'm not dead, and I will not die. If you can't cope up with what I do, just sit down and zip up.
In business,
bilateral creditors reject haircut as Ghana is expected to commence servicing external debts after 4 years. We've got details on the Joy Business Report.
And later, pregnant women in Oforikrom risk losing their babies among other complications due to deplorable roads in the municipality.
Acquiring the potholes, I was so brain, say, I'm for your namsoa. Yeah, about so free baby, I free by bedroom hospital one day.
The potholes are too many, and we suffer as pregnant women.
These are more coming up with me, Mami Nyamiche Thompson. Let's dig in now. Labor unions insist they will offer the incoming government some relief and flexibility, but only if it aligns its expenditures with available resources and avoids unnecessary spending. Former President John Dramani Mahama is requesting a honeymoon period from Ghanaians, particularly trade and labor groups, should he succeed in regaining power, emphasizing that his administration would require time to stabilize the economy. Responding to his appeal, the president of the University Teachers Association of Ghana, the University of Ghana chapter, Professor Ransford Jampo, says the association will only consider granting this honeymoon if Mahama demonstrates a genuine commitment to tighten government's expenditure.
You wouldn't be seen or be heard to be telling labor to tighten their belt, whilst you and your appointees will be living in opulence as we keep seeing now. And so what is going to be the size of the government? Are they going to be selling vehicles that may be bequeathed to them by the outgoing administration? I mean, if some of these things are done, you would not get the support from labor.
Well, spokesperson for John Mahama, Felix Kwachiofosu, assures that the president is ready to control expenditure if given the go-ahead.
Fortunately, the former president has committed to all of these things. He has spoken about cancelling Esgasia. He has spoken about not buying any new vehicles. No government official will be allowed to purchase any vehicle that he or she has used. That practice will be discontinued. Leadership must govern by example and indicate that if we have to go through frugal times because of the complete destruction of the economy, then leadership is prepared to go through the same sacrifice that citizens may be called upon to make.
Felix Kwachiofosu is spokesperson for NDC flag bearer John Mahama. Still in the NDC, the leadership has begun an inquest into the alleged assault of its treasurer, Hajia Shamima Yakubu, by a regional party officer during a stakeholder meeting in Tamale. The meeting, which took place over the weekend, turned chaotic, leading to Shamima Yakubu suffering injuries to her face. The Northern Regional Vice Chair of the party has turned himself in to the police as he aids in investigation. Deputy General Secretary of the party, Mustafa Bandi, tells Joy News that the party will also look into the incident this week.
And so it is purely one that the party's constitution and the hierarchy of the party, frowns on. So definitely, when we have gotten full briefing and full information of the matter, we will certainly take an action. Whether or not the police take an action, the party will initiate measures to address such misconduct. Meanwhile, we condemn such unguided acts on colleague executives.
Mr. Gbande also dismissed reports that the party's national chairman, Asserting, was chased away by aggrieved loyalists during a stakeholder forum with machete and stones.
That is not true. That is false. Like I said, there was a stakeholder meeting. In that meeting, it gives the forum the opportunity for people to air themselves. And a stakeholder meeting that is, targeted at reconciling views will certainly convey some sort of disagreement. And that occurred and was addressed. Nobody tried to assault or nobody had to waste the national chairman.
Away from that, Chief of Army Staff Major General Thomas Opon-Pepra is cautioning his detractors against perpetrating lies to tarnish his image as the president prepares to make changes to the army leadership, responding to rumors that he turned down an appointment as the Chief of Defense Staff. Major General Opon-Pepra urged the public to disregard such claims, which he believes are orchestrated to taint his hard-earned reputation.
The name Opon-Pepra is tearing stomachs and heads and creating fear in people. I don't understand why. And so I've been attacked and they keep attacking me. Even this morning, just like before I got here, a publication was sent to me where it's being indicated that I have refused to accept the appointment of CDS, and as a result, there's a stop in the military shakeup. I've been taken to juju people and all that. We have pictures of it. In fact, it was one of the military police gentlemen who brought the picture. But I'm still standing here. I'm not dead, and I will not die. If you can't cope up with what I do, just sit down and zip up.
You heard Chief of Army Staff Major General Thomas Opon-Pepra. The Director General in charge of administration at the Ghana Police Service, COP Christian Tetanyonu, has warned police officers to stay away from bribery. The police administrator made the call during a short ceremony at the headquarters to debrief officers after the Christmas operation. COP Tetanyonu says officers' ability to stay away from these gestures will improve the integrity of the service.
The assurance given by the men is that all the attempt to bribe them, they rejected them. And that is kudos to them. And we want to tell the other policemen who are home and their various places are prepared to go to work, who are not part of these Galaxy Stars, they should take the example from these people. We are urging all of you, what we have started, and I'm telling you that the monies that they will give you on the street, it will never do anything for you. It is a curse. So don't receive it and shame those people who attempt to bribe you.
Meanwhile, Inspector General of Police George Akufu-Dampare is urging the public to keep supporting the police in the quest to restore its image.
We want to thank the good people of Ghana for accommodating our shortfalls and continue to constructively criticize us, for us to use our sense of guilt and shame to continue to be better, so that we will continue to strive to become the best institution in the country and a reference point for the rest of Africa and beyond. And we know that it is attainable.
IGP George Akufu-Dampare there. Now let's head to Oforikrom, where pregnant women are risking losing their babies, among other related complications, due to the deplorable nature of the roads in that municipality. The roads are generally bumpy, dusty, and riddled with potholes. Residents are not happy with the situation and has left it unattended for several years. Clinton Yabua has more in this report.
The road networks in Ayeduase, Apiedu, Buedi, and Emina are rough paths, disfigured with countless potholes that create a turbulent journey. Lucy is a 9-month-old expectant mother who uncomfortably plies the Apiedu Emina road to seek maternal care at the Enimwa Medical Center at Emina. The bumpy, dusty road causes significant jolts, shaking her body joints to the core. Lucy explains how she had to limp throughout her over 25-minute journey to get to the medical center.
Acquired the potholes, I was so brave, and I for bre ebe wo so sa won free baby a wo free by Bedroom Hospital hone
The potholes are too many, and we suffer as pregnant women. The car will shake you and you end up with waist pains. I was so tired when I got down from the bus. I had to limp.
Prince Oboy has been driving within the Ofuruku municipality for over 8 years. He recounts the catastrophic ordeal faced by his pregnant passengers.
I thought out to be for painful and mental hospital and the High School junction.
We pick pregnant women, and from the driving mirror, you can see how roughly the car is throwing them about. I am always steady with how I drive.
Clinton Yabo's report bringing us to the end of the bulletin. Now, top story. Labour unions warn they will give the next government some relief and flexibility, but only if it aligns its expenditures with available resources. I am Amisi Nyamiche. Thompson Business is next on the Super Morning Show.
The boys are lined up looking for an opening. They are charging forward from our three. Kuku has his eye on the cashier, but Yo gets there first. He taps, and he scores!
Win your ticket to glory with the ABSA Card Assist. Tap to pay with your ABSA debit or credit card, and you could win an unforgettable Premier League experience in the UK or any of over 50 consolation prizes such as home appliances and shopping vouchers. It's time to tap your way to the Premier League with your ABSA card. ABSA, the official banking partner of the Premier League. Terms and conditions apply.
Of the moments to remember with AFCON 2023 on DSTV. Experience Africa's biggest football tournament with all 52 thrilling games live and in HD the way you like it. Enjoy expert commentary that will blow your mind.
It's a gorgeous finish. Super goal.
And the finest analysis to keep you in the game. Live your pride, passion and love for Africa's beautiful game from the 13th of Jan to the 11th of Feb on Supersport or anywhere on DSTV Stream.
No matter your water needs, Syntex has it all. Syntex Tank was first to introduce double layer tank, and now you can have as many layers as you want. Syntex Tank was first to introduce white inner layer tanks in Ghana, and now introduces the customer specs order, which will let you order any color and size you want. Syntex Tanks gives you the biggest warranty of 7 years, which no other tank gives you. So whatever your water consumption, size of project, or demand, choose Syntex Tank. Syntex Tank, stress-free. Syntex Tank, reliable. Syntex Tank, maximum guarantee. Call 0244 335 168, Kumasi 0505 555 666, or visit syntexgh.com. Syntex Tank, a strong, a tough.
Is over. It's the Clash of Titans. The Total Energies African Cup of Nations Côte d'Ivoire 2023 is here. And as part of this year's competition, all Total Energy service stations will go into 100% football mode. So drive to selected service stations and kickstart your year with lots of amazing giveaways. This is our way of supporting our gallant Black Stars. So starting Sunday 14th January, when you buy fuel or lubricants from selected Total Energy service stations on Ghana match days, you instantly win amazing branded souvenirs. Let's celebrate the passion of football together and win lots of gifts during the 2023 Total Energies African Cup of Nations. Remember, promo is valid while stocks last. Visit our social media pages, Total Energies GH, for more information. Terms and conditions apply. Let's live football together.
Morning.
That was Vintex.
Yeah, you look like you didn't want to come to work today.
You have the prophet's eye.
Well, how about an AI version of Kuji Yangsen?
Wouldn't be the same, would it? Yeah, that's why I came to work.
That's why you came to work.
I don't think I can phone it in by AI. But I mean, AI is taking over in so many industries and sectors. People are solving problems by just getting machines to do it, getting computers to solve the problem. They, in some cases, do it even better with a lot more efficiency. Yes, there are still some aspects of life that just require the human touch. But AI is becoming a tool that is valuable. But you see, it depends on what kind of economy you're running. Okay, because in high performing economies, AI will replace more jobs, but society will benefit more because they are geared up for that.
I think you made reference to the IMF report that shows that 40% of jobs are at risk.
Yeah, especially in our parts of the world. Okay, so in developed economies, it's less of a problem. It's more of an opportunity. We also need to leverage on the development of our own human resources so that it will be an opportunity for us as well. Because if you're properly trained, then the existence of AI, it just gives you the chance to make more money, right? But how do we make sure they are properly trained? The education minister thinks we should do this. Listen.
GTEC has to work with tertiary education institutions. They accommodate the learning needs of these new students who are using their minds and using their hands in designing robots and doing so many unique things. So the idea is to make sure that we have a seamless transition from high school to the university.
Yeah. I mean, he makes an important point that, look, these guys are getting a certain training, all right, at the secondary level, which must continue. Okay, so he's suggesting that somehow there should be what he describes as a seamless transition is what I'm interested in. What is it about the transition that needs to be improved? I thought that we had to improve the quality of teaching and learning at the tertiary education level so that when they make it there, they can expand their horizons, develop their skills, and do even more.
Yeah.
But he's talking about the transition. He says that he needs it to be seamless. What does that mean?
I'm lost myself, so hopefully there are some answers. But I mean, if you look at the investment in tech in general in our schools, there's nothing good to write home about. So I mean, if we want to talk about AI, I'm just even looking at the basics.
Yeah.
We've done so much in that area.
Yeah. This particular education minister has been very STEM focused. And that's a good thing. I mean, thank God for that. So it means that he's obviously thinking ahead, right? And he does see the need for these skills to be developed in young people. And he's set up a few model schools that are doing that to a very, very good standard. There's a need for it to be expanded further across, the education landscape. And more people need to get access to it. Doesn't matter which part of the country you're from, you should be able to get into these STEM schools and all that. And it must continue at tertiary level because that's where the real development of these skills happen, right? Even in the US, all these great Silicon Valley superstars, they honed their skills in university.
Yeah.
All right. From Mark Zuckerberg to, you name it. Even those who dropped out. They got the bug, they got the ideas while they were college students, because that is where you get the most facilities, the access to the most equipment and so forth, the most opportunity to develop these skills, So he's certainly concerned that tertiary education needs to up its game, but he's talking about a transition. I mean, that's where I got a bit confused. Does he mean that they shouldn't write exams? They should just,
I don't have an idea.
Yeah, I don't know. But no, one thing that's to his credit that he certainly has his eye on, the advancement of technology and how we should leverage it. Yeah, we'll talk more about it later on the show. Right now, though, the 6 a.m. news was brought to us by Total Energies. Total, we go the extra mile for you. And Absa Bank Ghana Limited, helping you find a way to get things done. And that heralds the Joy Business Report, brought to us by Glyco Life Travel Insurance, Glyco, we cushion you for life, and Africa World Airlines, touching Africa, touching the world.
Hi, welcome to the Joy Business Report. Coming up this morning, bilateral creditors reject haircut as Ghana is expected to commence service in external debts after 4 years. Meanwhile, rating agency Fitch expects Ghana and Zambia to emerge from default on their foreign currency debt in 2024. Also coming up, CD weakened 1.22% to the US dollar in the retail market last week, but expected inflow of $600 million from IMF expected to reduce strain on local currency. We've got details coming up. Don't go anywhere. Hello, thanks for joining us on the Joy Business Report. Good morning to our friends listening on KTU Radio in Koforidua. We want to begin with the latest on the IMF economic program. There will be no haircut on the $5.4 billion bilateral debt that will be restructured. These are some of the terms that Joy Business has picked up from the official creditor committee. Now, the cut-off date for restructuring Ghana's bilateral debt is now pegged at December 2022 instead of March 2022. But Finance Minister Ken Ofori-Atta insists negotiations are yet to be finalized on the various terms.
It gives us some leeway the next 3 years with regards to servicing of the loans that we have, and that gives us space that we want. What we have now is it gives enough financial assurance for the IMF to sit. We now are going to take our time to get into the nitty-gritties of the MOU. And so that's what is ahead of us. And we'll now work with them into the details of that.
Does the preliminary term sheet include the low cut on the principal and the interest, and then the fact that it's still a freeze after 4 years before we start paying something as well?
I think those broad parameters, are in there, and I really don't want to be drawn into the details because those are really going to change. But what
you heard the Finance Minister Ken Ofori-Atta speaking on a PM Express Business Edition, which will air this Thursday on the Joy News channel at 9 p.m. Now, rating agency Fitch expects Ghana and Zambia to emerge from default on their foreign currency debt in 2024. In its Rich Now Sub-Saharan Africa Sovereign Outlook 2024, it stated that the two countries will come good in terms of restructuring their debts. Here's more.
The UK-based firm said the macro outlook for sub-Saharan Africa in 2024, including Ghana, points to stable median real gross domestic product growth and lower average inflation, which nonetheless remains high across a number of sovereigns. It, however, expects financing challenges to persist as most sub-Saharan African sovereigns do not have affordable access to international capital markets without credit enhancements. It forecasts a gradual fiscal consolidation due to financing constraints and fiscal reform efforts, which in many cases are linked to International Monetary Fund programs. This consolidation, it believes, will help government debt to the size of the economy to broadly stabilize. It warned that multilateral funding will remain a key support more broadly across the region. However, risks remain tilted to the downside.
That was a Business Desk report. The business community has said that the $600 million second tranche bailout package from the International Monetary Fund will come in handy to complement the recovery of the country's macro economy. According to the Association of Ghana Industries, the consistent drop in inflation plus the relative stability of the exchange rate regime can be attributed to the support from the IMF. Hence, the timeliness of the second tranche bailout package. Chonam Akpalo, who is the Greater Accra Regional Chairman of the Association of Ghana Industries, has been speaking with Joy Business.
The good thing is that the inflation rate has been there's an improvement in the inflation rate, but we would like to see a more deeper inflation. Ideally, we look forward for single-digit inflation rates. Normally, it's better that way, so that you can be sure that prices are generally more stable, and that helps us in our overall industrial planning. And so, of course, the IMF bailout will come handy, hopefully to deepen this, and also for the central bank to consider to reduce its policy rate because it has been inflation targeting focus. So really, if this comes, all of these indicators hopefully will be affected in a good way so that overall the industrial environment in Ghana will flourish.
Greater courage on chairman of the Association of Ghana Industries, Shona Makwelu there. Now, the Commissioner General of the Ghana Revenue Authority, Reverend Dr. Amisha Daiwo, has said that the GRA's willingness, or has said the GRA is willing to engage all large and medium taxpayers to retrieve outstanding taxes. According to him, the authority is ready to use all existing laws to ensure tax revenues are collected for the state without any compromise. Speaking to Joy Business on some actions taken to retrieve debt from industries and other large businesses in the country, the Commissioner General, Reverend Dr. Misha Dawusoma, said the focus remains on getting revenue to build the country's economy rather than just closing down businesses.
There are a number of companies that I don't want to mention the name at this moment, but there are some factories that we have closed and reopened and closed and reopened. Sometimes the press will ask you, you close and reopen, you don't seem to have the teeth to bite. But I think the purpose is that when we close, we want you to be able to come, we engage, we see how best we can help you. If you still don't comply with the settlement agreement and we have to move on to the next stage, we will move on to the next stage. So we are committed to making sure that we get the taxes, but at the same time to make sure that Ghanaians also get the jobs and get the production and our GDP going up.
You heard Commissioner General of the Ghana Revenue Authority, Reverend Dr. Ameshadai Osu Amwa. Now, the cedi weakened 1.22% to the US dollar on the retail market last week following depreciation pressures. However, the expected inflow of a $600 million bailout package from the International Monetary Fund will reduce the strain on the local currency in the near term. Here's more in this report.
Despite the ease in inflation and the announcement by the government that it had reached debt restructuring agreements with its official creditors, the local currency lost value to all the major foreign currencies. The central bank also auctioned $20 million for the bulk oil distribution companies in its first sale for the year. But it failed to tame the persistent corporate demand as the local currency unit closed trading on the retail market at 12 cedis 33 pesos to $1. However, the expected $600 million inflows from the International Monetary Fund after its board approval of the first program review this Friday should help improve market sentiments. This will shore up foreign exchange reserves and strengthen supply-side intervention.
Meanwhile, on the currency market this morning, the dollar going for 12 cedis 30 pesos, that's still on the retail market. The pound going for 15 cedis 35 pesos, and the euro going for 13 cedis 30 pesos. In other news, rice and rubber value chains could rake in $100 million annually if properly invested in. That's according to Chief Executive Officer of the Ghana Incentive-Based Risk-Sharing System for Agricultural Lending, GESOL, Kwesi Kobo. Now, speaking to Joy Business after Absa Bank Ghana received an award for its role in agri-financing, Mr. Kobo indicated that agricultural lending has increased since the establishment of GESOL. He says that more can be done to improve the sector.
The reality is that not only have we seen agricultural lending improving in quantum, but also seen some sectors change. Let me give you an example. Take the rubber value chain, for example. Yes, you may say rubber is not food, but it's agriculture. And those who process caplams, export, bring in needed foreign exchange. Since our operations in 2019, we have helped set up 2 indigenous rubber factories in this country. And if we're able to, through our assistance, help work with the banks, finance more rubber factories that they can bring in a minimum, and these are indigenous companies owned by Ghanaians, $50 million a year annually. I mean, that I believe is remarkable. Currently, we're also now pioneering a new model in our rice value chain. We've just done the first deal in our Afram Plains. We're about working on the second one, and we're hoping that, and that we're doing collaboration with DBG. ABSA is also very much involved in one of them. And the idea is that we're hoping that by end of the year, we should have leveraged finance of close to $50 million in a rice value chain.
Chief Executive Officer of the Ghana Incentive-Based Risk-Sharing System for Agricultural Lending, Kwesi Kobo. Now let's turn to Investor Eye. Director General of Securities and Exchange Commission, Reverend Daniel Gbamitete, warns prospective investors not to be lured by unrealistic promises of returns on investments.
You see, there's something fundamental with any business model. In business school, we learned about something called a cash conversion cycle. That is how that entity makes money. Okay. So if somebody promises you that I'm going to give you 10% per week or 20% per month, and it's going to go for a long time, you need to ask yourself, what is it that entity is doing to be able to generate that kind of return, to be able to take a certain portion of their own profit but still pay you that amount. Because if you are paying somebody 10% a month, that's like 120% a year. What is the person? What is the underlying business?
And that's our Investor Eye episode for today. Make a date on Thursday for another episode of Investor Eye. Before we go, an update on the commodity market. Crude oil remains at $78 a barrel this morning. Gold lost more than $7. Is selling this morning at $2,049 an ounce. Cocoa trading at $4,323 a ton after going up by $49. There's more news on our website, myjoyonline.com/business.